Hey everyone, Al here at Automated Muscle and the Jack Buddha. This is my second post of the day. I was listening to an interview on Lawrence Neal's podcast, High Intensity Business, a podcast I very much enjoy, and I like Lawrence a great deal. He's a good guy. And the podcast was with Bert Villa and Dagoberto Villa, I know him as Bert, and Dr. James Fischer. And it was on super slow versus high volume training. And I'm not going to go into the points raised in that, because more than anything what that conversation did was highlight to me that there's I think a fundamental thing that people are missing, and that people are kind of debating the wrong topic, or topics that might not necessarily be there, one, and number two, topics that become relevant only after something fundamental is clarified. What am I talking about? Well, I don't think the high volume, low volume debate thing is really relevant if nobody understands what you're trying to do with a workout. Like, what is the individual's main objective during a workout? And the way I look at it now, after having a more thorough understanding of all the mechanisms involved in adaptations, the only thing that you as a trainee can do in the middle of an exercise to affect the outcomes of your program, and therefore really the only thing that you have any control over whatsoever, is motor unit recruitment. The way that I train people, everything that I do, every behavior I teach, every set technique, anything I teach is all of it, cueing methods, everything, all of it, in service of improving that individual's ability to recruit motor units. That's a skill. It needs to be taught. And if that skill's taught, it really gets rid of a lot of debates about speed of motion, volume and frequency, because those things become more obvious when you've maximally recruited motor units. And when you understand that that's your objective, then you start to disinclude things from your training that hinders that ability. Things like chasing too much inroad, too much fatigue, because those are polar opposites. Motor unit recruitment and fatigue are, one inhibits the other. More fatigue you have, at some point, the lower your motor unit recruitment output will be. Yes, some of it is absolutely required to create sufficient mechanical tension. Topic for another day, we're not going to get into. Point is, the only modifiable thing that you can do as a trainee in the midst of your workout, your sets, reps, that's all programming based on your objective. If hypertrophy is your goal, there's a certain set of guidelines you want to follow. If gaining strength in certain movements is your goal without putting on muscular hypertrophy, muscular size, well, then your programming is going to need to reflect that. It's going to need to look more, stay away from failure, and be a little bit more practice oriented. They're just different objectives. And hypertrophy is an adaptation. So then we're getting into some different stuff. The point is, in either activity, no matter what activity you're doing, your only job during the workout is to try to improve your motor unit recruitment capabilities. It's really the only valuable thing in training to chase. Every minor behavior and thing that you do with your workout should be in service of finding a way to improve that. If that means, changing your speed of motion to something that more accurately reflects, the mechanisms involved in motor unit recruitment, well, that's what it means. And the speed of motion is neither here nor there. What do you have to do to produce optimal motor unit recruitment? Who cares if it's fast or slow? Which one is it? those types of things. Again, in my programming with people in the Jack Buddha, it's all about looking at, I have a structure for the program. There's a 12-week block, kind of a mesocycle that people will go through, and I guarantee you'll be stronger at the end of it. But most of my interaction with people goes into creating behaviors during their workout that optimize their ability to get after it and recruit motor units. So I'll leave it at that. But suffice it to say, I think there's a lot of terminology used, like intensity, and that are just very vague and very open to interpretation. That word intensity can be used in a number of contexts. You could be speaking of it in an absolute sense or a relative sense. And both have their utility, but if you're trying to explain something absolute with something relative, you're going to be in error. So I think it behooves that the community of high intensity practitioners to look a little bit more critically at the terminology they're using, and maybe the basis for their theory and practice. But none of these arguments, I think, would really make much of a difference if everyone had just a better understanding of the real objective of an exercise session. Rant over. Al here at, Al at automatedmuscle.com. Automated Muscle on my Instagrams and other social media. I run 12-week blocks with people through the Train Heroic app, where everything's laid out for you. It's guaranteed you'll be different at the end of the mesocycle than you were at the beginning. And at the end of the 12 weeks, we can look back and reconvene, reconfigure, reprioritize and strategize and go at it again. It's a much saner and better long-term approach to take with people, working in blocks, that is. And that's something I'll get into another day. But anyone out there wants to give what I'm doing a go and take on some of my coaching and help you improve your motor unit recruitment output, hit me up, DM me, or shoot me an email, al@automatedmuscle.com. Thanks for listening. Take care.